Welcome to Airplay Escape. Please consider subscribing to my Patreon account for the full audiobook. Thank you for your support. Naruto, Choose from Birth, Episode 31. Makoto Uchiha swayed in a dense tree above his head for a while, and then a small figure slipped down from the tree. It was Vortex Joshinai. At the moment when Matsudaira's thunder doppelganger was about to erupt, Makoto Uchiha took Kushina to the bushes above his head using the teleportation technique. Then immediately created a shadow avatar. The body turned into Joshinai, and when the thunder flashed, he once again used the teleportation technique to return to the ground. This time, 2 ninjutsu were released, and the commotion angered his shadow doppelganger, finally attracting Matsudaira's attention. So that the transformation technique successfully deceived Matsudaira, who was in an impatient mood. No way, small birds are a pain in his life. However, after 2 battles, Makoto Uchiha's chakra was almost exhausted. Fortunately, when he rewarded the instantaneous technique earlier, he also increased the total amount of chakra by 50%. So that the chakra amount, which originally only had a special upper ninja level, reached the upper ninja level in one fell swoop. Brother Chung, are you alright? Seeing that the powerful enemies were finally all solved, Kushina finally let go of the heart that had been hanging and flew towards Makoto Uchiha. Makoto Uchiha quickly caught Joshinai gently. It's okay, this guy is far worse than your brother Chung. Joshinai hugged Uchiha Makoto tightly, tears quickly invading his clothes. I thought I had to leave the familiar place again, and I thought I would never see you again after that knife. The voice was choked and choked, making people inaudible, and the worry and fear all the way finally burst out at this time. After experiencing this incident, Kushina completely regarded Makoto Uchiha as a person he could rely on in life, and the strength he usually showed could finally be temporarily put down. Have a good cry. Makoto Uchiha also put away his usual playful expression and comforted softly, okay, it's all over, I said it. Only I can bully you, we made an agreement. Well, why does that sound weird? Joshinai grunted, something is hidden in front of you, and the diaphragm has reached me. Makoto Uchiha took half a step back strangely, wasn't it? I'm still young, although it's really not small, and I'm just about to open my crotch to take a look. The famous knife hanging from the waist shook the broken snow. It turned out to be broken snow. What a hindrance. Through. You. Do you want to do it? Joshinai scratched his little head, looking at Uchiha Makoto's strange behavior of pulling the crotch of his pants. By the way, remembering the strange thunder that he made in front of him, what is it called? Chidori? Airplanes. The little head suddenly emitted a faint blue smoke, and his face was red. You. Do you want to put Chidori? I'm still young, can I wait later? How could Brother Chin create such a lewd ninja method? Clams? What are you talking about? Makoto Uchiha was completely stunned by Joshinai. Remembering the first time he used Chidori to deliberately loosen his air. Do you really think that I took out that bird and hit someone? What is your little head holding? Joshinai, listen to me explain. At this moment, another small figure galloped in the forest. Joshinai? Makoto Uchiha? Are you alright? The one who came was none other than Bo Fengshui Men, who was holding a handful of kunai in each hand at this time, and his eyes were constantly vigilant around him. Terrible, shurikens everywhere, and badly damaged environments. Fierce fighting has definitely taken place here. And judging by the 4 corpses that fell on the ground that were obviously not Konoha ninjas, Makoto Uchiha won this battle? Also, suddenly found that there was a heart-shaped dark instrument pattern not far away. What the hell? Battlefield confession? Baka-kan. Look at the red-faced Joshinai, nanny. My heart hurts, and I always feel as if I have lost something important. Yo, little Watergate, or your action is fast, why did you find it so quickly? I saw the signpost you left behind and chased me over, and I wanted to go to practice after dinner. You guys got an attack? In fact, what I want to ask is, which of you confessed so quickly? Watergate shook his head and blew away the unrealistic thought. Well, the people of Yunin village are poor and crazy, they became human traffickers, and they wanted to capture Joshinai. Watergate glanced at Matsudaira's body strangely. This person was obviously the second person in charge of the Yunin envoy group that appeared in the ninja school in the morning. No wonder his face was full of pain when he announced that he was admitting defeat. The attack is estimated to be a hemorrhage after the treat, and I want to recover some money. Remember, these people in Yunin village are too stingy, and they should be more vigilant in the future. Young master. Get out of here. Another figure fell, carrying a corpse with a mask with a white background. The visitor is Uchiha Yudo, who has been secretly protecting Makoto Uchiha under the orders of the patriarch. Just fought 1 against 2 in the periphery of Konoha, killed 1 and escaped 1. However, according to the ruthlessness of these mysterious people who committed suicide when they were captured, they should not give up on this, and it was the right way to take the young master back to the village quickly. The body was brought back to the family for study. Good. Makoto Uchiha could see at a glance that this corpse that Yuta was carrying was not a person from Danzo? This rude organization created in the original Book of Tibet, even 3 generations of Hokage dared to assassinate. What else did he dare not do? That 10-member assassination team organized by the regiment failed due to Kakashi's rebellion. But the 3 generations were suspected of pursuing Danzo for Konoha. So don't hesitate to agree, go to a safe place first. Everyone just got up and took a detour back. There was a sound of footsteps, and dark shadows kept approaching in the forest. Uchiha Yuto. Makoto Uchiha. Plundering important people in Konoha, wantonly killing Konoha's allies, and killing my subordinates who went to the rescue. I now declare them to be arrested as Konoha's A-class rebels. If you resist, kill on the spot is allowed. One after another, figures wearing black robes with masks on a white background surrounded them, led by Shimura Danzo, who was wearing a bandage to cover one eye. Episode 32, it's a black and white upside-down operation. In Shimura Danzo's plan, 3 plans have already been prepared today. Plan A, trade with Yunin village and assist the other party in capturing the human pillar power container. The other party provides precision instruments to study cell activity and ninjutsu of Lei Duan. Danzo, on the other hand, only needs to lead the garrison around the container and open a passage to escape from Konoha. Yunin village delivered precision instruments first. Lei Dun ninjutsu requires the human pillar force container to be safely brought back to Yunin village before it is delivered. Plan B, spy on the human pillar force container. When Kushina is in the air, he discovers that Makoto Uchiha, a ninja school student, uses the Sharingan in the ring. So he started Plan B, took this opportunity to capture Makoto Uchiha, and then blamed Yunin village. Plan C, when Plan A-B fails, start Plan C, reverse black and white, and blame Uchiha. Before Konoha's other support forces arrive, kill Makoto Uchiha directly and take control of the body. He then blamed Yunin village. At that time, whether the Uchiha clan wants to take revenge on Yunin or not, they can get the maximum benefit. Of course, it is best to take revenge to further weaken Uchiha. Shimura Danzo deeply inherits the cold thinking of his teacher, the 2nd-generation Hokage, and suppresses the basic policy of the Uchiha clan. As long as there is an opportunity to weaken the Uchiha clan, he will definitely not let it go. It's not like this, Brother Chun killed these Yunin to save me, they are all bad people. Jyoshina looked anxiously excusing Uchiha Makoto. This little girl has been cast by Uchiha, don't bother, take it away. Tuanzong was expressionless and waved to everyone behind him. Nonsense. Young Master Makoto is the son of the Uchiha patriarch, how could he betray Konoha? Whoever dares to come up is to declare war with the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Yuto roared loudly, and the 3-hooked jade chakra eyes of his eyes spun rapidly. The people on the other side were so excited that they suddenly stopped. I don't have illusions, don't. Makoto Uchiha pulled Jyoshina, who still wanted to defend, and made the carriage on the other side, not caring what you said. Yuto is also hinting at Uchiha Makoto to leave quickly after the battle, and he also understands that the other party will definitely not stop. As for surrender, do not resist? Hehe, it is guaranteed that the eyes will be taken away directly, and the bones will be gone. Really? Declaration of war? Are you going to declare war on all of Konoha? It turned out to be so. Die, wind escape, vacuum wave. The sinister guy pulled the whole Konoha towards him with a flick of his hand, and then threw the high hat. At the same time, while speaking, he made a seal, and before he finished speaking, a wind was greeted. The horn of attack was fired. Shuei Duan, iron cannonballs. Uchiha Yuto, who was also secretly preparing ninjutsu with his chakra eyes open, quickly released ninjutsu that had been brewing for a long time. Rumble. The huge water ball collided with the vacuum wave and exploded instantly, splashing water. Watergate, if you believe our words, you will cooperate with me with the wind. Fire, fire dragon bomb. Makoto Uchiha's chakra amount can only make the last fire dragon flame bullet, and simply all the chakra is held on this technique. Watergate looked at the 2 sides that fought in an instant, remembered the scene when he had just met Makoto Uchiha and Jyoshina, and chose to believe Makoto Uchiha. Wind escape, big breakthrough. The fire dragon flame bomb, which was already very powerful, was strengthened by the wind. Wind fuels firepower. The fire is powerful. The flames soaring in the left, center, and right surrounded everyone on the opposite side, dancing wildly like a furious dragon. Tudu City Wall. Tudu City Wall. High walls of mud and stone rise from the opposite side. Boom. The huge flame combined with the large water ball just now formed a violent hot steam, which was blown away by the wind. Although isolated by the earth escape. However, the approach to the opposite side was temporarily blocked. Quickly retreat. Uchiha Makoto picked up Gyoshinai and rushed towards the forest, and Buffing Shueman quickly followed. Uchiha, you didn't queen. After running wildly for 10 minutes, Tuanzong and others, who were good at assassination and pursuit, gradually chased after them. After all, there were 3 children in the team, and Makoto Uchiha pulled one more person. Young master, you go first, I'll stop them. Fire escape, the art of phoenix fire. Small fireballs erupt from Yudo's mouth and are controlled to bombard incoming enemies. Uchiha Yudo already has a desire to die, just to buy more time, so that young master Makoto can return to Konoha first and seek the protection of the family. It seems that you are dead set on declaring war on Konoha? All of them. Goal ahead, kill without amnesty. Tuanzong used psychological warfare again, wanting the other party to always have a mustard in the battle, and did not dare to go all out. The art of wind cut. Wind escape, thousand faces wind. Shui dun, Shui ji na yuan. Dense ninjutsu is sweeping in. Except for the 3 generations of adults, who dares to represent the entire Konoha. A sharp break came from far and near, accompanied by a huge, chakra-inspired knife chi fiercely cut into the battlefield. The ninjutsu along the way were crushed and separated by this sword chi that seemed to run through heaven and earth. A figure with silver hair took all the attacks and blocked in front of Uchiha Yudo and the others. A tall figure, holding a short knife, glowing with a white chakra. Although he didn't make any more moves, the powerful momentum like a knife on his back pressed on everyone's body like a mountain. One by one, the dark parts of the Hokage department with animal masks such as Tengu, Fox, and Cat Bear followed, and descended one after another. The silver-haired figure at the head was the only one who did not wear a mask, only because of the conspicuous special white chakra short knife, combined with the amazing knife technique that had reached its peak. As dazzling as the moon in the night sky, it is impossible to ignore. He has participated in countless missions, large and small, and is already a legendary ninja who is already the captain of the Dark Army at the age of 17. In the original World War II, it was even claimed by the enemy that as long as he encountered him, he could return directly to the village to recover his life without completing the task, which shows the horror of his strength. He is the legend of an era, Konoha White Fang. Episode 33, Chimu Shuamao. Tuanzang's eyes showed a gloomy and cold aura. Damn it. Konoha's support came so quickly, and he hadn't caught a useful chip yet. It seems that those 2 subordinates are going to die in vain, and they have not played any role, and it is estimated that they will be bitten by Uchiha. This time I was a little anxious, but I didn't expect that Uchiha's little ghost was extremely difficult. Otherwise, to deal with an inexperienced ghost, or a sneak attack, at that time, it should be captured. What a waste. Take your time, there are opportunities. It seems that he will continue to hide in the shadows and lie dormant for a while. There is no use in dwelling here any longer. Very well, I remember you. Tuanzong stared fiercely at Chimu Shuamao, who had ruined his good deeds, turned around and waved his hand. Withdraw. Danzo-sama, please come with me to the Hokage office. Chimu Shuamao said lightly. I'll go alone to meet that old thing of Sarutobi-san, but not now. After Tuanzong finished speaking, he led everyone in the route and quickly disappeared into the dense forest. And Chimu Shuamao did not stop it, but just watched their departing figure deeply. So, Chimu-sama? Who are they? Bluffing Shueman looked at the figure of Tuanzong and their departing figure, and asked suspiciously. This group of strange people, when they saw them, they shouted and killed, and now they saw the Konoha reinforcements and immediately retreated, without dragging mud and water, thinking that the other party was expected to continue to come up and fight verbally. They. Chimu Shuamao looked at the slightly embarrassed people in front of him. Tonight's experience may have a great impact on these children. Maybe it's going to grow faster, maybe. They are the roots of Konoha. What is a root? The dark side of Konoha. Buried deep under the earth, it draws nutrients from the roots of Konoha. It is composed of absolutely loyal, killing machines, doing unknown dirty work and tiring work. However, this cannot be an excuse for their wanton behavior, and the roots revealed on the surface of the earth will be devastated by the sun, moon, wind, and rain. Chimu Shuamao didn't explain too much. We will find out the truth as soon as possible. Please follow me back to the Hokage office. This matter needs to be decided by Hokage himself. Good. In addition, Uchiha Makoto agreed, walked from behind everyone to Chimu Shuamao, and saluted, with a solemn expression. Lord Chimu, thank you for the knife you just lent a helping hand. I'm Makoto Uchiha. I owe you a favor. Chimu Shuamao smiled, just wanted to respond that this was just a matter of responsibility. However, looking at the little Ujibwa on the other side, a different kind of momentum rose in his serious expression, and the 2 peers next to him were far from it. The ghost replied solemnly, and then shot away. Perhaps, in the future, do you really need his help? In the end, it is found out that Makoto Uchiha really killed Yunin in order to save Kushina. On the way, he and his escort Uchiha Yudo each killed a member of the route. And the Tuanzang side never mentioned that he had the intention of sneak attack, but only bit the two subordinates sent to find out that Jio Shinai was missing and killed by Uchiha. The pursuit of Uchiha in the back is to ask for an explanation. The Uchiha clan was furious about this, and they had to give Hokage a satisfactory explanation. Otherwise, it will take its own measures. Makoto Uchiha claims that Danzo, an old thief who is blind in one eye, is trying to snatch his chakra eye. The next day, Makoto Uchiha officially graduated early from the ninja school and joined the Konoha garrison. He took over the post of deputy captain of the garrison from his brother Uchiha Fugaku, and began to sweep the entire Konoha that day. Any mysterious person who appears in a mask with a white background is arrested on the spot, and if he resists, he is killed. That night, there was a constant confrontation in the dark. 2 more root members who were not hidden were killed. After that, Tuanzang and his root organization were forced to change their appearance, and because they were unwilling to fight Pinyu Jibwa single-handedly, they completely disappeared for a long time. The third Hokage then officially recognized Makoto Uchiha for saving Kushina on the surface, saying that he added a reward for early graduation and was rewarded with the ownership of 6 shops. But those who knew it in private knew that this was the compensation that Hokage made. Moreover, it was crossed out from the business shop owned by Danzo. The amount of money required to support the operation of root tissues and various experiments such as studying thousand-hand resident cells and organ transplantation is very large. It is still difficult to rely on ninjas to take on missions alone, and some unknown transactions with the outside world. Therefore, Tuanzang himself secretly owns a large property, and does not hang his name. However, this can be concealed from others, how to hide 3 generations of Hokage. For some of the mess left by Tuanzang, the 3 generations were also annoyed, and now waved their hands and carved out part of Tuanzang's industry as compensation, so as to reduce the anger of some of the Uchiha family. Now is not the time to completely turn over, the Senju clan still has some strength, and it is not appropriate to engage in Uchiha again. You must cut them one by one in order, boil the frogs in warm water, too late. When Tuanzo learned that his industry had been reduced, he still gave it to Uchiha, and his subordinates suffered heavy losses, so angry that they smashed several expensive research equipment in the basement. Some people at the root looked at it, shook their heads, and smashed it up and down. It's going to be harder. 1 year later, Makoto Uchiha leads the Konoha garrison out of a tailor shop, and the owner Shimuragami carefully sends the big gods out the door. We received complaints that your store was shoddy and deceived consumers. This time you will be fined 50,000 taels, forget it. Also, give me all the inferior goods, and we will come back in 3 days. If there is no change in the slightest, you will be arrested for disrupting the Konoha market and deceiving consumers. Finally, your name is hard to hear, Shimura Kamido? Is there still someone named Shimurashida? It is recommended that you use the name Sharon in the future, Uchiha Makoto said loudly. Adults, those inferior products have all been turned out by you, and there are no more. There is also a brother who is indeed called Shimura Shimoto, and my father hopes that I can become an upper shinobi in the future, and my younger brother has the strength to do business. Unexpectedly, the result was exactly the opposite. The owner Shimura Kamido wanted to cry without tears, and since the Shimura Danzo in the family offended Uchiha, even the people with all Shimura surnames were implicated. Every 3 to 5, they were disturbed. Business is not as good as it used to be. It's as if just now, 30 inferior products were turned out of 100 clothes, whose products can guarantee 100% qualification. Although the quality of our clothes is indeed poor, doesn't this not cross the upper limit of the 30% damage rate? The main thing is that these are sold to civilians, those untouchables. Why use such good clothes? A little patch, isn't it normal for loopholes? Oh? You're reminding me that your family has a good patience, right? Okay, call your brother over in 3 days. I'm going to try his skills. Lord Makoto, I don't have this idea, borrow me 100 dares, I don't dare. Well, you just need to manage well and ensure quality. Don't get complained about some evil ways, we won't come. You see, every time we move, we're tired, yes. B. Lord Ching, these are the tea fees for several adults, so you must accept them with a face. Shimura secretly slipped an envelope over. Makoto Uchiha took a glance and found that it was a thick stack of silver tickets. Are you bribing on the street? Sin, +1. Come. No need to wait 3 days, take it now, confiscate the stolen money, yes. On the spot, 2 team members stepped forward to trap Shimura Kamido. Poof. Shimura Kamido, unable to slow down in one breath, blocked his chest, and fainted on the spot. Episode 34, Ding. Congratulations to the host for directly or indirectly hitting a large number of industries of the Danzo group and obtaining A-grade Muji Ninjutsu, Spiral Pill, refreshing. Finally, the famous spiral pill in the original book also started. Although the power of the spiral pill in the early stage is not very large, it is convenient and fast, and it can be released without sealing. And the upgraded version of the spiral pill in the back is amazing, such as the 9-tailed spiral pill, the big jade spiral pill, the super large jade spiral pill, the wind escape spiral shuriken, etc. It's really a trick and eats all over the world. Suddenly, a member of the Dark Division directly under the Hokage leaped over. Makoto-sama. Just leave this person to me. In addition, these trivial matters related to business do not dare to bother the garrison, and we have established a department to specifically supervise them, the dark man with a raven mask said respectfully. Huh? It's okay, we can do it. There is no need for Naruto-sama to spend manpower and material resources to open an independent department. If you have extra spare money, it is better to improve the food, clothing, housing, and transportation of the villagers. We are the Konoha garrison, obligated to protect the safety and social order of Konoha. As big as fending off assassinations, cleaning up spies, and eliminating violence. From dealing with theft and fraud, helping grandmothers cross the street is our responsibility and obligation. We also received complaints from villagers that the owner of this shop really cheated customers and deceived consumers. Serving the villagers is our purpose, and we will not allow borers that harm Konoha, Uchiha said with great righteousness, his voice amplified through chakra, constantly attracting nearby villagers to surround him. Yes, the Konoha garrison is really good. With them, we don't have to close the door at night to sleep. These Uchiha have been particularly diligent recently, and last time I saw them on duty in the middle of the night, catching them for food, and I heard that they caught a big spy of an enemy country. The day before yesterday, my little cat was lost, and these Uchiha helped to find it. The key is not to spend money. Thank you so much that my pennant was ready and sent to their office immediately. What I used to say that Uchiha was arrogant and looked down on people was completely deceptive, and the rumors were really terrible. I don't know who passed it on, let me see. I must let him see how big my slap is. The villagers who were watching exchanged their ears one after another, these city ants, their voices were still very loud, and they were gossiping for fear that others would not hear them. This dark person broke out in a cold sweat when he heard it. Hell, wasn't this group of Uchiha the master of fishing for 3 days and drying nets for 2 days before? Don't talk about finding lost kittens for others. Even if they see 2 gangs of people quarreling and fighting each other, they will only stand by and cheer, let the 2 sides of the fight focus on it, and teach each other a profound lesson. It seems that these are all changes that happened after that little Uchiha took over the Konoha garrison. Alas, I can't win them alone, and I can't win them. Let's report to Naruto-sama. After the shadow left, Makoto Uchiha asked his subordinates to press people back to the Konoha garrison office area. Go to Konoha Gozen Forest by yourself. Hokage office. The 3 generations listened to the report of the dark part. He also asked the dark part to turn over all the big and small things that Makoto Uchiha had done in the past year, and these front Hokage let the dark part observe and record. It was found that the Konoha garrison had done more work this year than the previous 10 years combined. The point is that they are still doing their job openly, and they don't care about being watched. Large and small, and quite effective. In the large file, 11 assassinations were resisted, 6 murder cases were detected, and even the work of cleaning up spies from various countries in the shadows was robbed. It stands to reason that with such a huge workload, Uchiha can't be busy, and no matter how Uchiha is just a 9-year-old child, even if it is the son of the patriarch plus the position of deputy captain of the garrison. It should also not be able to restrain those arrogant Uchiha people, at least they will be lazy, and there is no such positive situation. But on his first day in office, this guy taught the members of the garrison to learn the shadow avatar technique for free, and stipulated that everyone must learn the shadow avatar technique. Those tedious little things are all left to the shadow doppelganger. A task points system has also been introduced, and points can be earned for each attendance. Depending on the difficulty and outcome of the problem solving, the points obtained are also different. Members who complete many tasks and have high points will receive silver 2 rewards and even ninjutsu rewards, and it is said that there is a task maniac who has been rewarded with the latest ninjutsu. Learned a new advanced ninjutsu from Makoto Uchiha, Thunder, Chidori. It is said that he also created his own super genius in self-created A-grade ninjutsu at the age of 9. Unexpectedly, this Uchiha Makoto is not only a genius in ninjutsu, but also a genius in management. Now Konoha's overall evaluation of Uchiha has been greatly reversed. Although Konoha seems to have become much better, and the 3 generations themselves are much more relaxed. But how is the psychology heavy and unpleasant? Report. Danzo-sama asks for a meeting. A dark agent came in and reported. By the way, it must be Tuanzong here. Every time he comes over, he has to make a big fuss, let himself deal with Uchiha with all his strength, and he is bored to death. Also don't look at what time it is. The major ninja villages are about to move, there are undercurrents everywhere, and spy assassinations and other actions emerge one after another. Some small ninja villages have been quietly cleaned up overnight. The three generations are clear that it is not far from another ninja world war. Alas. However, I still regret why Makoto Uchiha graduated early. In the past, I used to do things in the school at most, but now I do things in the entire Konoha village. At this time, Makoto Uchiha had already come to the grove where he often practiced. A winding river quietly passes through this grove. Makoto Uchiha and Shina Uzumaki are standing on the surface of the river and fighting fiercely. Episode 35. It's been a year, starting from promising to guide Jyoshinai in cultivation, and they have been practicing together for a year. Later, I thought that one was to teach and two were also teaching, so I brought Makoto with me. Every day after school, or during holidays, I will come to this place to practice. Starting with the simplest chakra control, using tree climbing later, treading water gradually increases the difficulty. The two of them happened to be on the progress of cultivation together, which was a bit like you chasing me. Among them, the chakra control is slightly better than Makoto. And Jyoshinai couldn't control it from the beginning, stepping on the soles of his feet, or stepping on the bark too hard. To the back of the easy to move between the trunks. The progress was not much slower than Makoto. Mainly because she used twice as much effort as Makoto, she continued immediately after each fall, and she did not need to be treated by Makoto Uchiha for all over her body. Only to grasp the moment of realization, and finally the pain was so painful that it greatly affected the action, I received treatment. Just because she deeply remembers the helplessness of that night when her life was in the hands of others, and the pain of that night that almost burdened the death of those she cherished. Vortex Jyoshinai will never allow such a thing to recur. Crash. The foot suddenly exerted force, a circle of ripples swung out from under the foot, and the figure exploded. The fiery red hair once again rippled in the setting sun. Syllable. Makoto Uchiha folded her hands and firmly blocked this leg blow. The figure has passed inertia and quickly slashed backwards on the surface of the water, and the surface of the water under the feet still ripples in a circle. Jyoshinai is as powerful as a tiger, and Makoto is as agile as a leopard. The two sides come and go on the water, and the movements are beautiful. With the green mountains and green water, and the gorgeous sunset, fresh and pleasant. It's a pity it's a little smaller. Makoto Uchiha stood on a large boulder by the river, with staggered currents on his body, accompanied by the sound of thousands of birds chirping in unison, as if to score the two girls who practiced against each other. Sure enough, with this special sound, the movements on their hands became more rapid, and some moves that they did not dare to use just now also began to be played. It was as if I let go of my body and mind at once, and truly enjoyed fighting without reservation. Makoto Uchiha paid attention to the sparring on the surface of the river while carefully manipulating the stimulation of the Chidori stream. After that night, Makoto Uchiha, who knew that his strength was not enough, did not relax this year. In addition to continuing to swipe the selection reward, increasing the total amount of chakra by 3 times, he also obtained the nature change of thunder attribute and wind attribute chakra. As a result, he began to develop Chidoryu based on Chidori himself. Since it is not rewarded by the system, Chidori Ryu needs to slowly practice by himself to become proficient. Now Makoto Uchiha has been able to skillfully use the Chidori stream, which greatly improves his understanding of Lei Dun and prepares to develop the Lei Dun Chidori sharp gun, fire, the art of the magnificent fireball. Water rush, rumble. After 2 screams, a violent roar occurred. Then the two jumped ashore in unison and ran towards Makoto Uchiha. Brother Makoto, next time I will definitely be able to defeat Sister Makoto, her fireball is getting smaller and smaller. Clams? There is also a smaller and smaller principle. You are obviously fighting for the addition of sufficient water vapor in the river, and the water ninjutsu must have increased again. However, the Chidori that Brother Chim taught me is to be completed, and next time I don't need to use the How fireball, let you see the power of the next Chidori. Makoto said proudly. Really fake? Why is mine not moving? Send it out and take a look. Okay, then let you a little fool take a good look. My sister is enough to match Brother Chang's genius. Sister Makoto, you were taken by him, you never called me a little fool before. Jyoshinai pouted and muttered. Looking at the two people who came in front of them, when they were able to stand easily on the water and chakra's control was greatly improved, Makoto Uchiha also taught them Chidori. However, this difficulty is still a bit high for them now. It hasn't grown in the slightest. Now that I heard that Makoto could be released, I was a little curious. Could it be that Makoto Uchiha is also a super genius? At that moment, he stopped Chidoryu's cultivation and quietly watched Makoto's movements. I saw Makoto's right hand press down. Thunder, Chidori. A trace of blue thunder really rose from Makoto's white and tender little hands. Twitter, twitter. 2 childish chirps like chicks were emitted. And then, Gone. Poof, what kind of door do you call Chidori? You call this a double bird, right? Joshinai covered her mouth and grinned. Humph. Then I did at least a little bit. What about you? If I don't make it, it must be 1,000 birds. Makoto Uchiha looked at the two little loli who were fighting with each other, and thought about Makoto's double bird just now. Involuntarily followed with a happy laugh. Thinking that in the original book, Naruto and Kushina have exactly the same personality and ninjutsu. From this, it can be inferred that at least the multiple shadow doppelgangers in the original work will be, and then, perhaps, Spiral Pill will also. Maybe her chakra attribute doesn't have rays, so it's completely unprogressible, and not because she's young? Otherwise, her chakra amount as a Vortex clan must be much more than Makoto, and according to her desperate efforts, she can cultivate much more than Makoto, but she still hasn't grown. I've been teaching them chakra control, actual combat sparring and shuriken throwing, but they forgot to check their chakra attributes. Minger test them. Episode 36, the next morning, the Konoha police office. The Uchiha who came to the police office early are already sorting out various task lists. At this time, a girl with a pale face, a little baby fat, about 10 or 20 years old, hurriedly ran into the police room, carrying a breakfast bag in her hand. Overslept. Almost late, what are the tasks today? The girl greeted her colleagues while pulling breakfast, and walked briskly to the task wall. I'll go, Sister Ling-in doesn't have to work so hard, right? You were the last to leave last night. Also, you misread the time, and it will be time for attendance in an hour. That's right, do you know what everyone is talking about you behind your back? Mission Mad Demon, got the reward of Chidori in the shortest time, leave us some soup to drink. Captain Suzune. Please bring it, let's go out on the mission later. Little Sister Ling-in, did you go out and wash your face? Steady down, has Chidori learned? Colleagues in the neighborhood quipped. Obviously, this girl is well liked in the Konoha garrison. Go, Chidori can cultivate at any time, and you can also feel it on the way to doing tasks. And I don't do tasks just for rewards. Didn't you find that after helping others, those villagers sincerely thanked each other? Is it very pleasant? Even if there is no reward, I will serve the villagers well. Mission Madness Uchiha Suzune responded happily to his colleagues. She was the first person in the garrison to receive Thunder Chidori from Makoto Uchiha. Yes. Before I knew it, I was enjoying my job, and I always thought I was so happy because I was rewarded. It turns out that there is also this reason. Yes, walking on the street now, many people will greet me. How could they have been like this before? When he saw us, he ran away. In the past, I always felt that helping these fools was a loss of identity, but now I willingly want to do more for the villagers. I now gradually understand what the vice captain said. People are not so difficult to get along with. What is lacking is mutual understanding. Yes, the vice captain also said, smiles are contagious. Now people on the street greet each other with smiles. That's also, don't you look at yourself laughing like a fool, can others not laugh? A pleasant sound of fighting sounded, and the early guards added infinite vitality to the area like sparrows outside the window. Half an hour later, with the moment Makoto Uchiha stepped into the police room, all the noise stopped abruptly, and one by one they sat down. Summarizing yesterday's events, sorting task lists, checking grooming, and so on. It was as if they were all at work in an instant, although there was still half an hour before the working hours. Makoto Uchiha rolled his eyes in his heart. What's going on? Is it so scary yourself? It wasn't when Makoto Uchiha first arrived, they saw a small child coming over as a vice captain. One by one, they are very unconvinced, regardless of whether you are the son of the patriarch. If you don't have the strength and want to manage things, then we can't work well. The result, of course, is that everyone, regardless of their attitude, has been taught a lesson. It's all experience, how can babies let go? So he swiped 1.5 times more chakra total rewards from them. Now they are afraid when they see Makoto Uchiha. They also don't understand why the same people, other people's 8 years old, 9 years old, are so terrible. Later they figured it out, because Makoto Uchiha was, Captain. The players got up one after another to say hello, Vice Captain, isn't it also the captain? No problem. Anyway, Chief Captain Shien's Uchiha Kaien is also very resourceful, and he has rarely intervened in the increasingly powerful Konoha garrison. Really let Makoto Uchiha go and do it. Well, then. Makoto Uchiha nodded gently, all of them. Attention. Lined up. Playground Assembly, meeting, the summary report of the 8 districts, starting from the 1st district, the northeast area as usual. Makoto Uchiha divided Konoha into 8 large areas in direction, each with a squad leader and a small team of members stationed in his own area. As a result, the division of labor in each region is clear and the efficiency of work is greatly increased. And because they have been here for a long time and are familiar with the local situation, they can detect any wind and grass faster. District 1 Squad Leader Uchiha Makoto reported, there was a wild boar arch incident yesterday, and in order to train the clansmen, the Hyuga clan sent a shinobi forward, and was arched again, failed and returned with serious injuries. We found out that it was not an ordinary pig, but a ninja pig with a chakra and a strengthened body. 2 members of the dispatch team have been captured. Uchiha Suzune, the captain of the 2nd District Squad, reported, there were 3,752 people entering and leaving the east gate of Konoha yesterday. Among them, the number of fresh faces increased significantly compared with the previous day, reaching 572. 27 disputes were resolved. The total value of the smuggled goods found amounted to 12 million taels. 3 districts. After half an hour of the meeting, the leaders of the squads of each district began to go to Konoha's various areas to attend work again. Every day, the summary records and the standardized action arrangements of the garrison, the members scattered throughout Konoha are like hard-working spiders, quietly sprinkling huge webs. It may not be very successful at first, but over time, the gains will likely surprise everyone. Makoto Uchiha returned to his separate office and looked at the file for a while. Found a lot of things, the squad leader has already solved the light. Alas, his subordinates are too capable of doing things, and it is also very helpless. Flipping through the books on his desk, suddenly a children's book fell into his eyes. Which naughty player put this thing on my desk? Really, when I was a child? Idle, and let's see. I opened the children's story collection and found that some of the stories here are not bad, but they are still too difficult for children to understand. It seems that there is still too little children's books and books such as Children's Enlightenment in this world. Even the famous Ji Lai wrote only adult books such as Intimate Paradise. Education should start with dolls, and Makoto Uchiha remembers many interesting works in his previous life. What Grimm's Fairy Tales, Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales, Fables, 1001 Nights, and so on. The children of this world are too miserable, let me enrich their spiritual world. Ding, feel a host's desire to change the child's spiritual world, please choose. A. Creating dark fairy tales that make dolls realize the cruelty of this world from an early age will strengthen their dark side. Reward, forbidden, ghoul sealed. B. Create positive energy fairy tales so that the dolls always have a pure land in their hearts in this cruel world. This will strengthen their bright side. Reward, forbidden technique, reincarnated. C. Create positive energy fairy tales, add some ninja elements appropriately, and make them more grounded. In addition to growing up, the dolls can recognize themselves more clearly and will not easily go to extremes. Reward, forbidden technique, multiple shadow doppelganger technique, episode 37. Well, the reward this time is very rich, 3 forbidden techniques. But what the hell are the first 2 forbidden techniques? Fight like Kilkenny cats. With self-denial? It is also the 3rd normal point and very practical. If so, what kind of fairy tale fables to write? Add ninja elements. Pregnant. I don't know why, Makoto Uchiha's mind flashed Tuanzo's ugly face again. The first Little Red Riding Hood story. Tuanzo is actually a cunning big bad wolf who can use transformation, and he was blinded by a hunter in one eye, so that after he used transformation to disguise himself as an adult, he was still blind in one eye, and his forehead was wrapped in bandages. There is a cute little girl in Konoha, pure and polite, and everyone loves her. Her favorite person was her grandmother, who lived in the suburbs, who gave her a little hat made of red velvet, and because she couldn't put it down, she often took it out with her, so people called her Little Red Riding Hood. On this day, when Grandma was sick, Little Red Riding Hood took her mother's instructions, a piece of cake and a bottle of wine and went to visit Grandma. As soon as I entered the forest, I came across the big bad wolf Tuanzong, who transformed into an adult. Since this was still within the range of Konoha's guards, the big bad wolf Danzo had to endure his saliva and stare at this cute Little Red Riding Hood and said, "Little Red Riding Hood, where are you going so early?" Well, with fairy tales and some more fables. Adapt Yi Gong How Long, come to Tuan Hide Good Snake. The one-eyed Danzo was very fond of snakes, and in his home, pots and pans, and wall pillars were painted with snake motifs. One day, the great snake immortal heard what he liked and personally came to meet him. The huge snake's head is as huge as a house, and its eyes are like the bright moon in the sky. Frightened, Tuanzong lost his soul and stumbled to escape from his residence, and his hands and feet have been suffering from pain to this day, so he had to wear bandages. Satirizing the sinister character profoundly exposes his bad thinking and bad style of only singing high profile and not being practical. Well, I don't know if this will affect his cooperation with the big snake pill in the future. When I think of snakes, I think of big snake pills. Although the big snake pill is a little cold-blooded, it is undeniable that he has been smart since he was a child and has a maturity far beyond ordinary people. Give him a big snake pill smashing tank. The meaning is that when Orochimaru was still in ninja school, during an outdoor activity, the naughty Jiraiya stood on top of the large water tank in order to show off. Lost his footing and fell into the tank, was flooded by the water, and did not know what to do. While the other children panicked and scattered to find adults. Only the big snake pill picked up the big stone nearby, broke the tank in his hand, and he was able to survive. In this story, there is also a little loss, give him some compensation. Right, a little tadpole finds Jiraiya. Now the two of them are also a little famous in Konoha. After all, they are disciples of the third generation, and their strength is still very strong, but they are not as famous as when they were named the three ninja of the ninja world after World War II. Well, if it is to spread the story of the entire ninja world, then it cannot be limited to one Konoha village. Give other villages some photogenic characters. The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is very good. Then write Chiyo's mother-in-law and the seven people of the ninja knife. It is estimated that not only children love to watch it, but adults are estimated to take a look at it. After all, everyone has the soul of gossip. Who does the prince let be the prince? Just 3 generations of Tokage 2 days of Inoki. It feels like they're a good match. This story involves 3 ninja villages. I wonder what will happen to the interesting story of them meeting on the battlefield after they became famous? Subsequently, Makoto Uchiha spent 10 days perfecting and revising the entire collection of fairy tales of the Malyang immortals. Drop pen name, God Pen Malyang. Then use the many channels at his disposal to transform into a middle-aged person and find those publishers to distribute. In the early stage, he used his own small treasury, smashed hundreds of thousands of tales into it, and published it. The rest waited for him to slowly ferment and harvest the fruit. Usually go to work to find something to brush rewards, and after work, I go to practice with the 2 little loli. Life in Shinobi Village can also be very comfortable. Makoto Uchiha sat on the office chair, lay down for a while, and then jumped up again. No, the body is too young and energetic, I can't stop at all, find something to do, or continue to adapt and create world-famous books. Tuck tuck. A gentle knock sounded on the door. Come in. Uchiha Suzune, the captain of the 2nd District team, walked in with a file. Report, Captain. The last spy identity information obtained has been eliminated by a series of exclusions, and now it is locked on 3 people. Please take a look. Ding. The spy who has been hidden in Konoha for many years has finally revealed his fox's tail. Please choose. A. Leave it to your men to crack. Reward, 50 small chakra energy pills. You can slightly increase your total chakra. Great items to cultivate your subordinates. B. The main work of the dark department, let it go back to them. Give your own people a day off for beauty. Reward, 3 resident yen dan, you can stay youthful and maintain your body functions at your peak. Aging occurs instantaneously at the last moment of lifespan. Note, not an elixir pill. C. Personally play. Catch real spies before the shadows are solved. Rewards, 100 small chakra energy pills and 8 yen dan. Episode 38. A spy is not the same as a killer who performs an assassination. There is no need to perform dangerous assassination missions that require tracking targets and are easy to expose themselves. Ordinary spies only need to find out some simple information, and ordinary search for intelligence is also cautious, trying to hide themselves to ensure that they are not exposed to inquire about information. Usually hidden deeply, some even like ordinary villagers, have lived in Konoha for decades, and no one knows his true identity until death, so it is difficult to identify such spies. Now that the Second Ninja World War is approaching, spies from all walks of life are all over the ninja world. Coupled with the fact that in order to get more accurate intelligence in an urgent way, abnormal tracking of targets, or changing living habits, more and more spies gradually began to be exposed. As for high-level spies, many times they have already broken into the enemy's upper echelons. There are very few of these kinds, and it often requires a huge amount of manpower and material resources to brush his merits and trust in the camp. When truly recognized and become a high level, the rewards are also extremely rich. Often a casual guidance can make a large number of ninjas fall into the trap, give their lives in vain. And what Makoto Uchiha wants to track is just an ordinary spy, but the important thing is that he has the information of a high-level spy in his hands. And this ordinary spy is hiding among 3 suspects. A beef shop owner named Hayato Hayakawa. It is said that the beef balls he made are fragrant and are Konoha's premier beef shop. A drink shop owner named Shota Maruyama. Mainly engaged in milk drinks. His milk, let people drink 1 glass, and want to have 3 more. That's right, that's how his ads hit. One is named Kensho Uehara. I have a small ranch that provides beef and milk to the 2 of them. At this time Uchiha Suzune, disguised as a brother, was walking with Makoto Uchiha on the way to the beef shop. Tell me what you know about them. At this time, Makoto Uchiha, who was dressed in an ordinary civilian attire, asked. Hayato Hayakawa came to Konoha with his mother to escape the war when he was a child, and it has been more than 20 years. I have been running a beef shop for more than 10 years. In addition to staying in the store, my favorite thing is to go to Baishian place to eat all kinds of barbecued meat. Shota Maruyama, a native of Konoha, took over the drink shop from his father, and the current drink shop has been in his hands for 5 years. Because I am too obese, round and rolling. So basically don't go out. Kensho Uehara, an old man, is said to have come and settled shortly after Konoha had just established the village. I have lived in Konoha for decades. I usually only stay at the ranch, and occasionally come to the beef shop with the delivery master. By the way, beef shops and beverage shops are next to each other. All three of them are still ordinary people. The sound of Uchiha bells sounded like wind chimes in front. What life is good for decades? Yes, 1 is 1, yes, 2 is 2, don't use exaggeration when answering these questions. Be accurate. Konoha has not been established for 30 years. Uchiha refuted Susan solemnly, but these people have lived in Konoha for so long, it is really difficult to see who has the problem from the basic information. Recede. The same mistake will never be made in the future. Susan straightened up and replied solemnly. Then he playfully stuck out his tongue, next year, there will be 30 years. I didn't expect that Konoha would be 30 years old soon, and there would be a grand celebration, right? Brother. When the time comes, my sister will take you to play. Ringtone. Ah, report captain. It was you who said to pretend to be a sister and brother. I have already entered the state. Hee hee, brother laughs, you are so young and old, you have a tense face all day, you will be a young man. It is said that Konoha's white Fong-sama is like this. When I arrived at the beef shop, I found that there was a long queue. I saw the owner Hayato Hayakawa sitting in front of the store, with a chopping board and a large piece of beef in front of him. The beef was being beaten live, and the 2 rolling pinwheels flew up, beating as quickly as a drum. It is said that this will break the beef fiber. The resulting beef is more tender and tastes better. Sure enough, Konoha's premier beef shop is extraordinary, and you can peek at it from the popularity of the business. Relatively speaking, this beverage shop is not worthy of its name. The storefronts of the 2 suspects are close together, and compared with the heat of the beef shop, the beverage shop is a bit of a doorman. I'm thirsty, let's go get a drink first, okay? Sister. Uchiha stared at the slogan that had a drink at the drink shop and wanted to have 3 more cups. The image vividly swallowed his saliva. Not good. You've just eaten 3 rice balls and a large watermelon, and you'll gain weight if you eat too much. Susan shook her head seriously. Nanny? When have I eaten? Say I ate so much when I was a pig? Big sister, don't add drama casually. Makoto Uchiha's eyes stared at Susan, and his eyes were round. Okay. I'm afraid of you, I can only have 1 cup. Oh, there are no 3 cups, our family is poor. Cluck. The little lady is addicted. When this task is completed, see if my vice captain doesn't clean you up, let you see what is called the official level, crush people. Susan said, seemingly hearing the sound of grinding teeth. A dozen look at Makoto Uchiha, worst. The vice captain seems to be angry. Quickly turn around. Raise your foot and kick open the door of the beverage shop. Is the boss blind? Picked up. We stood outside for so long and didn't come out to say hello? You eat date pills in the shop, episode 39, boom. Poof. Just in the store, Shota Maruyama, who drank milk alone, was so frightened that he sprayed a mouthful of trensu. It's you girl again, my door has been kicked by you twice, next time I really have to pay. When Maruyama Shota saw the person coming, he suddenly had a headache. In order to investigate the information, Uchiha Susan had already contacted 3 suspects as this civilian girl earlier. As I said earlier, your bad business must be the reason for your heavy wooden door, which makes the whole room storefront gloomy. If you want to pay for it, how about I change the glass door for you directly with good lighting? Susan sat down on the waiting table with a grin, picked up the drink list and looked at it. Don't. Just this wooden door makes me feel safe, and the 2 large windows next to me are not enough to let in the light. Do you hate glass doors the most? Do you think my figure is not noticeable enough? Maruyama Shota used to be charged protection fees several times when the village was not safe. It's a bit of a snake shadow now. You need a thick wooden door to feel a little safer. It is said that among the people who collect protection fees are people from the Konoha garrison. It's really a no-brainer. But fortunately, the Konoha garrison seems to have changed greatly this year, and the security in the village has been much better. Then Maruyama Shota noticed that Makoto Uchiha, who came in behind Susan, was dressed as an ordinary civilian child, and his eyebrows were quite handsome. This is? My brother. Which drinks are available today? Bring me 2 glasses. Sure enough, it's a brother and sister, not only do they look alike, but they also have clear eyebrows. Today's discount drink is chilled strawberry juice. Please wait a minute, your eyes are not amazing, where are we like? Do people with clear eyebrows look like this? Uchiha Makoto looked at the storefront, and the whole was clean and neat, plus the two large windows on the side, the lighting was still good. It is that the thick wooden door does not match this refreshing environment thief. It can be seen that the owner obviously has a problem with aesthetics. Well, his round body, estimated at more than 200 pounds, almost crowded the entire workbench, and it also affected the overall perception a little. Fortunately, the body is cleaned up, not as sloppy as others imagine, and there is always a faint professional smile on the face. After all, it is a business. Soon, Shota Maruyama took over the 2 glasses of chilled strawberry juice and brought a bottle of milk. First meeting, little brother, uncle give you more bottles of milk. Thank you, uncle. Makoto Uchiha took the drink and took a quiet sip. The taste can only be said to be average, not as good as imagined, which is a bit incompatible with the old shops in recent decades. Maybe that's one of the reasons for poor business? Uncle, your strawberry juice is so delicious, why is the business bad? Uchiha Makoto blinked his pure and innocent eyes and said something against his will. Ha ha ha, the little brother can really talk. In fact, the drink made by the uncle can only be regarded as average. The one made by my father is really delicious, but unfortunately, when I was a child, I loved to eat and play. Until his father's death, he did not pass on his craft well, Maruyama Shota said with a little bleak eyes, so now I can only make a living on the original milk. It's okay, Konoha is slowly getting better, and the business will definitely get better in the future. Makoto Uchiha had to quickly comfort him, and then poured the milk into the strawberry juice and stirred it with a straw. Well, it's time to call it chilled strawberry milk. Brother, why did you pour milk into the drink? Don't mess around, you'll eat a bad belly. Suzune saw Makoto Uchiha's move and hurried up to grab a drink. Huh? Is this a mess? Haven't you mixed it like that? Uncle, you haven't done it like this either? No, milk is milk, isn't it strange to mix other things? The taste of milk is all diluted, so what is there to drink? And mixed like this, drinking it will spoil the stomach. Then I drink the chilled strawberry juice first, and then drink the milk, isn't it also mixed in the stomach? Feelings, the world is also so short of drinks. Makoto Uchiha took the drink from Suzune's hand, drank it beautifully, swept half a cup after a while, and then spoke. Boss, I have an idea to make your beverage shop fire again. You mean, mix the drinks the way you did just that? That's right, it's not just strawberry milk. Watermelon milk, mango milk, etc. are okay. If you don't believe it, you can mix and match it yourself. Of course, the main ingredient is milk, and the proportion should be adjusted. Good. Try it now. Anyway, now the business is half dead, it is better to try this new thing. If it is not delicious, forget it, it will not be a loss. Just do it. Maruyama Shota quickly paired it with another cup of chilled strawberry milk. The first time I entered, I was still a little unaccustomed to it, but I watched Uchiha drink with relish. Just drink patiently to the end. Sure enough, then a different feeling came out. The sweetness of the strawberry juice, coupled with the mellow aroma of milk, is endlessly evocative. It is really much better than the previous monotonous way of eating. Then the eyes got brighter and brighter. Although Maruyama Shota's craftsmanship is ordinary, he has his own opinion on the quality of food. Otherwise, how did this 200-pound figure come from? It is all eaten. He can feel that this new drink must have a market, and there is a high probability that it will catch fire. Little brother. You really helped a lot. If the business really gets better in the future, I will make a profit of 10%. No. Urching was given to you as a gift. Thank you, uncle. I'll just say it casually, I don't need your reward. But if I really want to thank you, can I drink free drinks in the store later? This thing does not have any technical content, it just breaks the habitual thinking of people here about beverage pairing. If it catches fire, soon there will be a second, third beverage shop of the same type. It's just that this store, as the first store, can spread its popularity because of this. Of course, the main thing is not bad money, although I can rely on the experience of my previous life to make a prosperous chain store and the like, and constantly innovate, such as milk tea, lemon tea, and other new products. So definitely has the first competitiveness in the market. But there is no doubt that this still takes some effort. This is a bit of a sacrifice, occasionally make a little money to adjust life or something, and finally win the entire ninja world is their goal. Besides, Makoto Uchiha will not forget the real purpose of coming here. No problem. Don't say it's you in the future, the friends you bring will be free, so without further ado, let's try the effect of this drink today. In order to quickly make a name for yourself, let's have a free drink, we can help, right, sister? Uchiha Suzune, stunned on the sidelines. The younger brother gained the trust and gratitude of the owner so quickly. And he came up with something new and found an excuse to stay here. No wonder the clan elders dared to give the Konoha garrison full authority to their young son, who was still so young. Is this what makes the vice captain really special? Episode 40. After that, Makoto Uchiha stayed in the drink shop with Suzune to help. Said to help, in fact, is to be a cute baby at the door, help shout a few words, walk by, don't miss it, free big reward. The latest chilled strawberry milk, watermelon milk, mango milk free drink. Not to mention, this novel way of shouting has attracted many people to come over. Of course, in fact, the new gravitational pull of the word free is relatively large. When customers drank this mixed drink that they had not drunk before, they were full of praise. In less than 2 hours, the long line in front of the beverage shop was longer than the line at the beef shop next to it. Then Suzune and Maruyama Shota were busy, one in charge of reception and the other in charge of making drinks. The owner of the beef shop, Hayabusa Hayakawa, ran over curiously with 2 rolling pins. Yo-he, when did the fat man become powerful? Did you suddenly get the hang of your way and acquired ancestral craftsmanship? Go, I rely on this little brother, this is his whole thing, I don't dare to take credit. Really fake, so powerful? This is a blessing star, right? How about the little brother come to my shop and give you a taste of my famous craft? Hayato Hayakawa looked at Makoto Uchiha in disbelief. Although this fat man has a poor business, he is honest and never lies. Despite this, looking at Makoto Uchiha, who is still so young and dressed in civilian clothing, he can't believe that he can make a name for beef. Just be a lucky star, bring it in, dip in joy, and increase some luck. Okay. Uchiha agreed with a full mouth. This not only stops eating and drinking, but also allows you to go to and from the 2 stores in an open manner and better observe whether they have any problems. Of course, when I came to the beef shop, I didn't eat him in vain, but when I ate his beef meatballs, I said, I once ate beef balls made by a small vendor that were very delicious, and I spent all my money. What is it called? Burst pulp urine beef pills. I briefly said the feeling of deliciousness. As for the recipe, let him figure it out slowly, he is not a great benevolent, a bowl of beef meatballs wants to make a recipe for you. Hayato Hayakawa originally wanted to think of it as a children's joke, but seeing the new products made by the beverage store is indeed a bit of a doorway. Thinking if there really is such a popping pulp urine cow pill? After all, it is a person who has dealt with beef for most of his life, and after going around, he can no longer come out. So suddenly all the thoughts were full of cow balls, how to burst pulp, how to urinate. Still can't stand it, the name is too ugly. In this way, while the others were busy in the dark, Uchiha ate and drank comfortably, while secretly observing their every move. As a result, in the afternoon, the beverage shop was too hot and ran out of materials, so the activity stopped, but the fat man's Shoichi drink shop made a name for itself. Thank you both for your help in bringing this store back to life, which is a little gratitude. Don't get me wrong, it's just today's hard work. Maruyama Shota gave a large red envelope of 5,000 taels. Uchiha Suzune took the red envelope with a smile. Thank you big boss, I don't need to pay for that wooden door, right? No thanks, no thanks. When I have money in the future, I will change the steel gate. Uncle, the red envelope you gave is too big. Are you going to buy milk now? How about we help you get more together? Makoto Uchiha blinked again and looked at Shota Maruyama. How can you help if you're a little one? I guess you want to go see the cows, right? Ringtone mends the knife on the side. Well, usually I wait for the ranch people to deliver the milk in the morning, but today it ran out so quickly, I can just go over and get some first, and by the way, tell the ranch to send more tomorrow. Maruyama responded knowingly. So they closed the shop and headed together to the outskirts of Konoha, where the ranch was located. From time to time on the way, we chatted a couple of words. When it came to the rancher, Maruyama thought for a moment. Uncle Kensho's ranch provided us with milk a long time ago. That was when my father was still there. He likes our Kyoki tea the most, saying it is a great way to relieve his joint pain. No, I brought him another bag of tea, so he still has joint pain? Yes, it is said that it was the root of the disease that fell from the cold when he was young, and the left foot was unable to move.